Hi, welcome to Willow and Moon. I'm Sam, and today I'm going to be talking about why I chose a Whippet. Out of all the dogs, all the different breeds, why a Whippet was one that just kept coming to me, just kept dreaming about, just kept thinking about, and every time I saw one I was so drawn to them. And so I thought I'd come up with a reason why I chose one, as so many people ask when I tell them that I own a Whippet. So the first reason really is that I was drawn to their gentle, soulful energy. I don't know if you've ever seen a Whippet up close or online, but their eyes are so soulful, so gentle, so beautiful. They've got such kind faces, and I've always been drawn to that kind of look in a dog. There's cute faces, there's, I don't know, teddy bear-like qualities and some of the other breeds, but I've always been drawn to the kind of pointy nose of the Whippet or Greyhound, Labrador, you know, the kind of longer nosed dogs, the ones that you draw when you're a kid, the kind of outline, the shape that you see. I've always been drawn to that look rather than the kind of squashed faces, which I also think are cute. But for me personally, I've always loved the pointy noses, the soulful eyes, you know, things like cows and deer. They've all got such, camels maybe, such gentle, beautiful, soulful eyes. And I just felt that they had such a quality about them. They look really timid and scared before you know that actually they're probably just a little bit cold because they don't have any body fat and they have very, very short fur that doesn't have an undercoat. So they always look like they kind of got their tail between their legs. They look a little bit nervous, a little bit timid. But when you go up to them, really waggy and really happy and such beautiful, soulful faces. So I think I've been drawn to their soulful character, their gentle character. I've got to say that having a 5-month-old puppy is not quite like that, but I'm starting to see glimpses of her little gentleness coming through. She's more of a mad toddler at the moment, which is completely understandable. She's losing her baby teeth and she's just full of energy. She's either completely full on or completely asleep. There's no in between. Although there are glimpses every now and again. And that leads me on to number 2, which is I love the contrast. I love the kind of quiet calmness. And then you've got the wildness as well. If you've ever seen a Whippet run, they're just so beautiful. They are built for speed. They are obviously bred for chasing something really fast. They're sight hounds. So they've been bred to chase small game and catching them. They can turn on a dime. They're just absolutely majestic. They remind me of a cheetah in that way. They're just amazing to watch. In fact, everybody when I'm out walking her says, let her off, let her run. I'm not quite ready yet, nearly there, but not quite, because they just want to see that majestic running that these Whippets do. So I love that they have that playful, energetic character, but then also I've heard, not quite there yet, but I've heard that they then just flop on the couch or the bed or just near you, as long as it's nice and soft for them, because they're a little bit bony. They don't like hard floors. So I've heard that they just cozy up for the rest of the day. You buy things for them to keep warm in the winter, little snoods and jumpers, and that really does appeal to me. So a real homebody, but also likes to be out in nature and really feeling that energetic wildness. I just love that combination. The third thing is that they're really low maintenance in terms of their coats. They don't need grooming. I hear a lot of people that have these cockapoos and lots of different variations of that they need to go to the groomers every 4 to 6 weeks. They pick up a lot of stuff in their fur. They don't necessarily shed because they've got the poodle fur, but they've got really thick kind of curly fur, whereas Luna, it's very, very short, very straight. So even if she gets covered in mud, a lot of it just falls off on its own. We don't have to bath her very often unless she's particularly dirty, probably once a month, once every 6 weeks, just to keep her coat, well, actually it just smells nice, and also it shines and it just gets any stuff off that you maybe can't see. But she doesn't really need brushing. She doesn't need constant exercise. She doesn't need to go out all day, every day. She loves cuddling up with you. They're energetic, but they're not mad. Like I've heard a lot of Springer Spaniels and the Spaniel type. We did have a Cocker Spaniel growing up. All the time. They have their bouts of energy, but then they do like to sleep quite a lot. The only thing that we've really heard a lot about is their claws, because they're so fast, because they're such fast runners, and they also turn really quickly. If their claws are too long, they can rip them quite easily. So we've got a really good machine that just files them down, and I get them checked to the vets regularly as well. Number 4 is that there's something really elegant and magical about them. And that really fits into me and what I'm really interested in, my kind of rituals, my spell work, kind of witchy side of me, the love of kind of fantasy, Harry Potter, anything mystical, magical, spiritual, always been drawn to that. I've been collecting crystals forever, oracle cards, all of this kind of thing, being more in tune with nature. There's something that you could imagine them being in a fairy tale. They've got that look about them. They're really, like I said, they're very soulful. When you look into their eyes, you feel like they've got this quiet knowing there. Yeah, I'm really drawn to that look, that quality, that elegance about them. And the 5th one is that I feel like in choosing Luna, I've chosen myself. That sounds a bit strange, but I think what I mean is she's a mirror. So a lot of the time, especially as parents, you tend to put yourself at the bottom of the list. I run my own business. I've got 2 children. I've got a lot going on. And now I've brought this puppy in that obviously needs a lot of attention and a lot of time. But what I love about Whippets is a lot of people call themselves Whippet slaves because they know what they like. They know what they need. They know what they want, and they're not too ashamed to tell you. They don't feel guilt, which is such a great learning point for me. If she's done something naughty, you know, at the moment it seems to be pulling all the soil out of the houseplants. She knows she's doing it, and they've got this look about them, but I feel like the look is more about what they feel like they should be doing to appease humans, not that they feel guilty about what they've just done. Apparently they have no concept of the fact that, oh, I shouldn't have done that, mum's told me off for that. It's very, very in the moment, and there's no real guilt about it. So punishing her, which I wouldn't, but maybe putting her in a crate or saying, oh, you need to go into timeout or something, it just doesn't really work. It's more guiding them away gently and then encouraging the good behaviour. So there's no real point in telling her off. I mean, we are human and we kind of go, oh, no. But I've seen that that doesn't work at all. So it's more guiding her away and giving her something positive and then praising her for that. Yeah, she knows what she wants. She's not afraid to say in her own way. And I'm really learning from that. She's very sensitive. So again, telling them off doesn't really work with Whippets. They're really sensitive. They get upset. I wouldn't want her to have that fear look about her. And because they look quite timid and gentle anyway, you just can't help but melt when you look in their face. So that sensitivity to me is just a beautiful thing. And I'm very sensitive. And so it's almost like she's allowing me to be more of me without being apologetic about it. Just, I feel that we've got this real connection. It's like a mirror. Like I said, she shows up and shows me some of the things that show up in my personality, and she's almost giving the green light to them, if that makes sense. So if you've got a dog breed, or if you've got an animal, like a familiar that you choose, your little muse or something, your little soulmate, your animal soulmate, I'd love to know why you chose them and what it was about that breed or that type of animal that really appealed to you, whether it's personality wise, whether it's kind of your lifestyle and fitting in. I would really love to know, but those are my 5 main reasons. There are probably hundreds more of why I chose my little moon dog Luna, the Whippet. And yeah, I'm sure as she gets older there's going to be more and more connection there, but yeah, she's just a joy and a delight, and I really look forward to seeing you next time. If you have any questions about owning a Whippet in particular, or a puppy at this stage, I'd love to try and help, or maybe we could just talk about it in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.